Hi, I'm Frank Caravello, and let's talk about Series A term sheets. Rolling. Raising a Series A is a noteworthy achievement for founders because it's a really hard thing to do. Most companies don't make it to this stage. It signals to your founders, co-founders, your investors, your employees, and your friends and family that you have a product market fit and that you're making it. More importantly, it allows you to throw cash on the fire and really grow your company quickly. There are certain things in a Series A term sheet that you need to understand to protect yourself and your company. They revolve around the economics of the deal as well as control of your company. In this video, we'll discuss those terms. The first and most important item we should talk about are pre and post money valuation. So what does that mean? What are pre and post money? Pre-money is the valuation of a company before it receives the money, and post is after. So your post-money valuation equals pre-money valuation plus the new cash coming into your company, essentially. Also, finally, it's important for founders and investors to get on the same page as to what they mean by valuation if they're talking on pre and post-money valuation basis. Sometimes founders think investors are talking pre when investors are talking post, and that can be a misalignment of terms and can really blow up a deal. Next, let's talk about Proador Rights. So what is that? This is basically the right, but not the obligation, important, it's an option, for an investor to double down on their investment and invest again on a deal on the future financing rounds. Investors like this because it lets them double down on wins. The liquidation preference is the ability for an investor to get their money back before common holders, which are essentially the founders, get paid out and when there's a liquidity event. So let's say I'm an investor and I put in $1 million and I own all the preferred stock just to make this all easy for all of us. Let's say the company then liquidates for $800,000. I get back $800,000. I'm not recouped in whole, but I get back $800,000 and the founders get nothing. Let's say the company liquidates for $1.5 million. I get back $1 million and then the founders get $500,000. That's typically how it works for non-participating preferred. There's also something called participating preferred, which would allow me, let's say under the $1.5 million scenario, let's say get back $1 million. And let's say I own 50% of the overall stock pie with the other founders. That would allow me to get back $1 million and plus half of the remainder. Participating preferred really isn't market, so that's a red flag if I see that in a term sheet. Anti-dilution is essentially a protective provision for down rounds for your Series A investors. So what's a down round? A down round would be if I sold my shares in the Series A for $1 and the Series B I sold the same shares for 50 cents a share. That's a down round. That's pretty dilutive to everyone. So anti-dilution protection allows investors to not take that full burden of dilution. There's two ways this can happen. There's a weighted average, which essentially, the founders and the investors get to share that dilution. There's also full ratchet, which is entirely punitive to founders, where the old investors don't get diluted at all. It's really important for founders to understand the anti-dilution protections in the Series A term sheet, and you need proper counsel in doing that. So those were my top 4 deal terms for Series A term sheets that revolve around economics of the deal. You should definitely get counsel to help you out moving forward.